Welcome back, fellow seekers of productivity and wellness, to episode 152 of First Things Productivity. I'm your host, Dr. Brandon Vaughn, and it's a pleasure to have you with us as we continue our journey through Sleep Smarter by Shawn Stevenson. Last time we dove into the profound value of sleep and how it's the cornerstone of a better body, a sharper mind, and a fuller life. Today, we're going to turn our gaze towards the sun, quite literally, as we explore chapter 2 of this book, Get More Sunlight During the Day. So if that sounds interesting to you, grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to First Things Productivity, the podcast where your journey to freedom meets focus. Here, we're not just chasing efficiency or a vague notion of success, we're embracing the transformative power of true productivity. I'm your guide, Dr. Brandon Vaughn, and every week, we'll delve into innovative strategies to master our schedules, amplify our output, and carve out space for what's genuinely important. Bid farewell to the tyranny of the to-do list and join me on a quest for a life that's more focused and fulfilling. Are you ready to zero in on what matters most? Well, let's dive in together. Great to be back with you today. It's been a few weeks. I've had a lot of stuff going on with work. Also lost a dear friend of mine, so it's just been kind of a hard period of time. Lots of stuff going on in my life. So why sunlight, you might ask? Well, turns out that the sun, our ever-present star, does more than just light up our days and provide us warmth. It's a crucial player in our sleep health and our overall well-being. So whether you're listening from a sunny beach or a cozy office, this episode will shed some light on why catching some rays can be one of your most powerful allies in achieving restorative sleep. So our story begins with an internal clock, not the one on your bedside table that you constantly hit the snooze when you're waking up in the morning, but a biological one that's nestled deep within our brain. This clock, known as the circadian rhythm, is our body's master timekeeper. It's going to orchestrate when we feel awake, and it's also going to do that when we feel sleepy. And like all good clocks, it needs to be set correctly, and that is where sunlight comes in. You see, the circadian rhythm responds keenly to light and darkness, and it uses these to cue it to adjust our body's functions accordingly. So, when the sun rises, it sends a signal to your brain saying, hey, it's time to wake up, energize, seize the day. Conversely, as the sun sets and darkness envelops us, our brain gets the hint that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. But in our modern world, many of us spend our days under artificial lighting, shielded from the natural rhythms of day and night. We become indoor creatures, and this disconnection from natural light can lead to a confused and improperly circadian rhythm, or a set circadian rhythm. And what's that result? Well, the result is you're going to have poor sleep. You're going to have daytime drowsiness and a feeling that we're always a bit out of sync. Now, let's add another layer to this sunlight saga. Beyond regulating our sleep-wake cycle, sunlight also sparks the production of a vital neurotransmitter, which is serotonin, often dubbed the happiness hormone. Because serotonin does more than just uplift our mood, it plays a multifaceted role in our bodies, impacting everything from our emotions to our motor skills. And it's not just our brain. About 95% of our serotonin is found in the gastrointestinal tract, where it goes about its busyness, influencing our appetite, our digestion, and even the immune system. So what does all that have to do with sleep? Well, as the day unfolds and we bask in sunlight, our body churns out serotonin, setting the stage for a good night's sleep. And as night approaches, this serotonin is converted into another crucial player in the sleep game, which is melatonin. And we'll save the story a bit later in our journey to talk about melatonin particularly. So we've just illuminated the essential role of sunlight in syncing our internal clocks and boosting our mood. Now let's dive a bit deeper into the relationship between sunlight and serotonin. Now imagine serotonin as the conductor of an orchestra, orchestrating various aspects of our body's functions. The neurotransmitter isn't just about feeling good. It's about keeping our systems in harmony. So when sunlight kisses our skin is not just a warm embrace, it's a signal that kickstarts the production of serotonin. And this process isn't just superficial. It's a profound transformation that happens deep within our cells. The link between sunlight and serotonin isn't just poetic, it's scientific. Researchers have found that exposure to bright light increases serotonin levels, explaining why we often feel more alert and positive on sunny days compared to overcast days. This has significant implications on our well-being, especially for those of us who spend most of our time indoors under artificial lighting. By stepping outside and basking in some natural light, even for a short period, we're inviting a natural boost in our serotonin levels, setting a positive tone for our day and subsequently our night. But the plot thickens as we consider the role of serotonin in sleep. You see, serotonin is a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that signals to our body that it's time to sleep. As daylight fades and night falls, the serotonin that we produce during the day begins to transform itself into melatonin. This natural ebb and flow are crucial for a restful night's sleep. If you disrupt this cycle, you might find yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering why you cannot fall asleep. So, what can you do to ensure your body gets the serotonin it needs? Well, the answer is pretty simple, yet often overlooked. You need to seek out sunlight. Whether it's a morning walk, a break in a sun-drenched part of your office, or even just opening the curtains to let some natural light in, these small actions can have a profound impact on your serotonin levels and consequently your sleep quality. Now, let's illuminate the science behind light exposure. It's really a tale of two worlds: the bright, boundless outdoors and the comparatively dim interiors that we spend up to 90% of our time. Let's start with this startling fact. The intensity of light indoors is often less than 1% of that outside on a sunny day. Yes, 1% of the outside of a sunny day. This dramatic difference isn't just about brightness, it's about the quality and the spectrum of light that reaches us. See, outdoor light is full spectrum, which means it includes a range of wavelengths that are essential for regulating our circadian rhythm. Indoor light, on the other hand, is often limited and can lack the blue light wavelengths that are particularly important for keeping our internal clocks in check. Research has begun to shed light on this. And yes, that was a pun intended. Research is beginning to shed light on the implications of this difference. A fascinating study compared office workers with and without access to windows. The results were astonishing. Those with more natural light exposure not only reported better sleep quality, but also more physical activity and a higher quality of life. It seems that the world outside our windows isn't just a view, it's a vital source of health and well-being. But why is outdoor light so much more powerful in influencing our circadian rhythms? Well, we kind of hinted at this earlier, but the answer lies in the intensity and the composition of natural light. Even on a cloudy day, the outdoor light surpasses the brightness that indoor lights have in terms of lux, which is a measure of light intensity. This intensity is a key signal to our brain indicating the time of day and thus influencing a myriad of bodily functions, from temperature regulation to hormone production. So what's the takeaway from all this? Science. Well, it's a call to embrace the light, to step outside and immerse ourselves in the natural brightness that has guided human rhythms for a millennia. Whether it's rearranging your workspace to be closer to a window, taking your lunch break in a sunny spot, or simply making a conscious effort to spend more time outdoors, these small shifts can align you more closely with nature's clock, leading to better sleep and a brighter life. Now, I know what many of you wonder, can't we just fake this? Aren't there cool gadgets and stuff like that? Well, yes, there probably are some cool gadgets that you can get that try to mimic this type of stuff. But I will tell you that the science thus far tells us that they're not nearly as good. And taking one 5-minute walk outside will do you better than an hour in front of a synthetic light trying to reproduce something very similar. Now, we want to now explore the unexpected role that our skin plays in this interplay of light and sleep, and how understanding it can open up new pathways to wellness as well. Now, our skin, which is the largest organ in the human body, is an incredible, complex masterpiece that does more than just hold us together. When it comes to sunlight, the skin plays a crucial role in converting UV rays into vitamin D, which is a nutrient that's essential for bone health, immune function, and you guessed it, sleep regulation. But the skin's role doesn't just stop there. It's also directly involved in producing, guess what it is? It's directly involved in producing serotonin, this mood, sleep regulating neurotransmitter that we talked about earlier. You see, UV light from the sun stimulates special cells in the skin, prompting them to produce serotonin. This process is not just about feeling good, it's about setting the stage for a good night's sleep. However, it's essential to strike a balance. While regular moderate exposure to sunlight is beneficial, we also know that too much sun can be harmful. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're getting enough light to boost your serotonin and vitamin D levels without risking sunburn or skin damage. As a general rule of thumb, this means maybe a 20-minute walk in the morning sun or simply sitting near a window with your coffee. And of course, when you're out in strong sunlight, then you need to protect your skin with appropriate clothing and sunscreen. So next time you step outside and you feel the sun's rays warming your face, remember this intricate dance happening between your skin. It is a dance that not only brings joy to your day, but it also sets up the rhythm of your night. Now, it's time to shift gears and shine light on a hormone that's often in the spotlight when we talk about sleep, and that is melatonin, commonly known as the sleep hormone because melatonin has become a buzzword in the world of sleep aids and supplements, but there's much more to this story than many realize. First, melatonin doesn't actually put you to sleep. Does that surprise you? Well, you're not alone, because melatonin's primary job is to signal your body that it's nighttime to help regulate your sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm. Think of it as your body's natural way of noting the passage of day into night. It's preparing your body for rest. Now, this preparation involves a symphony of changes. Your body temperature drops, your blood pressure lowers, the body begins to slow down, all of this setting the stage for sleep. Melatonin is basically the conductor of this symphony, guiding your body into the state it needs to be in this restful sleep. But here's where it gets really interesting. The production of melatonin is directly influenced by the amount of light you're exposed to during the day, especially in the morning. Do you remember our serotonin story? As daylight fades, the serotonin produced during the day is converted into melatonin. This means that your morning walk or your afternoon break in the sun isn't just boosting your mood for the day. It's also setting you up again for a better night's sleep. However, our modern lifestyles often interfere with this natural process. We have excessive exposure to artificial light at night, especially blue light from screens, from phones, from tablets, from computers, from televisions. This can suppress melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep. On the flip side, not getting enough natural light during the day can disrupt your circadian rhythm, leading to irregular sleep patterns. And these are two secrets you need to check out in your life and experiment. If you have trouble sleeping at night, do you have too much exposure to blue light from screens at night that you should reduce or mitigate in some way? Or are you not getting enough natural light during the day? Could be both. So what can we do to keep our melatonin in harmony? Well, it's very simple. We need to seek out sunlight, especially in the morning. We need to make our evenings dimmer and quieter, reducing exposure to bright and blue light as bedtime approaches. And if you need a boost, you could consider a melatonin supplement. But let me warn you about this. I've read a lot of research, medical research, not just blog posts, medical research that will suggest that melatonin supplements are not the best thing to take. Now, again, I'm not giving you medical advice. Go ask your medical doctor for confirmation of all this kind of stuff. What the medical research seems to suggest is that you're much better off letting your body produce melatonin. And if you start taking supplements of melatonin, your body, in this particular instance, becomes a bit lazy and seems to almost forget how to make melatonin because you're constantly supplementing it. Usually that doesn't happen. Just because you take vitamin D doesn't mean that your body quits learning how to get vitamin D from sunlight or something like that. But in the case of melatonin, it does seem to work that way. The better supplement to take, and again, go check this out, ask your doctor for advice, but tryptophan is the better supplement to take, and that is tryptophan. Tryptophan. And if you look this up, you might know this every Thanksgiving because you eat turkey maybe during Thanksgiving. And if you ever wonder why you're so sleepy afterwards, well, it could be because you overate. But guess what turkey actually is packed full of? It's actually packed full of something called tryptophan. And guess what tryptophan helps your body do? Tryptophan helps you make melatonin. So it seems like the medical research tells us that instead of taking melatonin as a supplement, again, unless your doctor says to take it, then do what they say. But a better supplement to take, if you want to take a supplement, is to take tryptophan, which will help your body produce melatonin, which will help you sleep. But again, the better ways to do this is to dim those lights, to turn on the nighttime mode on your device to where it starts changing the colors and blocking the blue lights, to wear blue blocker eyeglasses at night, to just turn off your devices an hour or two before you go to bed and not have them blaring in your face, and to get lots of daylight exposure, especially in the morning. That's basically what you need to do. So as we approach the end of today's episode, it's time to translate what we've learned into some actionable steps. You now understand the profound impact that sunlight has on your sleep and your well-being. But how can you harness this power in your daily life? Well, here are some practical tips to increase your daily sunlight exposure and in turn to enhance your sleep quality. Number 1, let's start with a morning light ritual. You should plan to start your day with sunlight. Within the first hour of waking, you need to expose yourself to natural light. And I say natural light. I'm not saying some kind of crazy device that is supposed to synthetically do this. You need to get outside. It doesn't matter if it's overcast. Get outside. This could be a short walk. You could just enjoy your coffee outside. It could be simply standing by an open window. This morning ritual is going to help you reset your circadian rhythm, and it's going to boost your mood and your alertness for the day. Number 2, your work environment. If you work indoors, if you can, position your desk near a window if possible. If that isn't possible, then maybe find some places that you can touch down that are closer to windows and do some work there. Regular exposure to natural light throughout the day can improve your sleep. It's going to improve your mood. It's going to improve your productivity. Again, if you can't be near a window, you could also consider stepping outside for short breaks throughout the day. Number 3, how about some lunchtime sunshine? You could use your lunch break as an opportunity to get outside. So eat outdoors, take a walk, or simply find a sunny spot to relax for a few minutes. Not only does this midday exposure to sunlight help with vitamin D production and serotonin levels, but it's also going to break up your indoor routine. It's going to refresh your mind and your body. Number 4, you can exercise outdoors. Whenever possible, why don't you take your workout outside? Whether it's a morning jog, a lunchtime walk, an evening bike ride, exercising in natural light multiplies the benefits. You'll be boosting your physical health, you're going to be soaking in some sunlight, and you're going to be preparing your body for a better night's sleep. Number 5, mindful evenings. So as your day winds down, be mindful of your light exposure. Dim your lights in your home. Limit some screen time as bedtime approaches. As we said, turn on the nighttime mode in your Android or Apple device. Buy some blue blocker glasses and wear them after 6 or 7 p.m. at night, so you're forcing yourself to constantly limit blue light from everywhere. Turn off your devices before you go to sleep. Don't bring your devices to bed if you can. This is going to help signal your body that it's time to wind down and to prepare for sleep. Now remember, these tips aren't just about making drastic changes to your lifestyle. They're about making small, conscious decisions that can have a big impact. Start with 1 or 2 changes and build from there. Over time, you're likely to notice not just better sleep, but overall improvement in your mood and energy level. See what works, see what doesn't. And remember that this stuff builds up over time. You're much, much better off attempting to go natural on this stuff than taking supplements. But if you have to take supplements or you feel like this would help, consider something like tryptophan to take instead of melatonin. and maybe only take melatonin at the advice of your doctor. So as our time together comes to a close, let's reflect on this journey that we've embarked on. We've explored the critical role that sunlight plays in regulating our sleep and our mood, our overall health, in fact. From the intricate dance of serotonin and melatonin to the practical ways that you can invite more life into your life. I say life into your life, light into your life. It's clear that the sun is more than just a celestial body in the sky. It's a pivotal part of our daily lives. Now, I want to encourage you to take this knowledge and turn it into action. Over the next week, try implementing just one or two of the strategies that we discussed today. Whether it's a morning walk, a lunchtime break in the sun, being mindful of your light exposure in the evening, and observe the changes in your sleep and overall well-being. I'd love to hear your experiences and your stories, so feel free to share them with our community, whether that be in our Facebook group, which is First Things Productivity. You can look us up. You can also send me a message, me@firstThingsProductivity.com. Would love to hear your stories of this. Now, your journey, and we also have a YouTube channel. Go look up that tie-dye guy. You'll find an episode, short version of this episode there. You can also leave me your stories there, because your journey could inspire others to take that first step towards better sleep and a more vibrant life. Helps a lot. It's like, oh, it's not just Brandon that says that, but man, he read Tim and Sue's story and their life radically changed. I think I'll try it. If you found today's episode enlightening, please consider sharing it with friends, family, anyone that you know who might benefit from a little bit more sunlight in their lives. Today and always, together, we can spread the word about simple yet powerful changes that can lead to profound improvements in our health and productivity. So as we bid farewell today, I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of First Things Productivity. Your dedication to learning and growing is what makes this community so special. Remember, episode 153, next episode, we'll delve into the fascinating world of screen time and its impact on our sleep. We're going to get more into this. We hinted at it today. We'll dive into this a much more. Chapter 3, Avoid Screens Before Bedtime. It's an episode you won't want to miss. So until next time, until we meet again, I'm Dr. Brandon Vaughn, your guide on this journey to a better body, better health, bigger productivity, bigger success. Keep chasing the sun, embracing the day, and most importantly, sleeping smarter. Good night, sleep tight, and let the daylight brighten your tomorrow. See you next time.